If it's always a pleasure to talk about crypto when everything goes up, it's always a bit different to talk about when it goes down. And it's been more than a month now that we are seeing newer lows almost every week on Bitcoin. If you do not have any friend that texted you, do you think we're in a bear market now? You don't have any friends. That's why in this video, we're going to check what is happening on the price. Would it recover? Because there's first a macroeconomic element, then MicroStrategy, then the change of holders, still an opportunity, and the threat of quantum computing. The first macroeconomic element that is to talk about is, of course, the government shutdown, which slowed down some crypto ETFs, which obviously is not enough to make everything goes down, but also we get the Nasdaq going a little bit down as well, Nvidia too, and that create usually a panic movement that happen as well on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is still seen as a really high risk asset and really tied to technology companies. I guess most investors would not really make the difference of what's happening on Bitcoin, but if you check the 50 EMA, like we are trading way below it. We were trading way above it before. Now it's the cool down period. Is it a time to accumulate or not? Well, we're going to study deeper because the main one that is going down has been MicroStrategy. If you check on the 5-year chart, it's actually crazy. It went up to 427 and now it's trading almost at 50% from the all-time high. Why is that? MicroStrategy is a company that sells software a bit. They make 500 million apparently a year from selling the software, and then they buy everything into Bitcoin. So they have a big treasury. But now the thing is, JP Morgan and the MSCI index, so you want to have your company into some kind of index funds at some point. Why? Because if you are in that massive MSCI index, then the whole world who buy MSCI every month will buy some of your stock. And MSCI, they say, we're not going to put MicroStrategy in it because it's more oriented towards Bitcoin. And now we see a big JP Morgan boycott going out on Twitter recently with some people getting their account closed, which is crazy just because they talk bad about JP Morgan. But then we have to remember, still it's oversold. Can it go lower? Definitely. Now, if you have capital on the side and you were thinking to buy some Bitcoin, it become obviously cheaper now. And we have to remember that we have been in a crime season like never before. When we check the liquidation on Bitcoin, the highest liquidation ever in history of crypto was on the 10th of October. You see that massive green candle. There's not many liquidation before, no matter short or long. So the short means that they're betting on the price going down. We don't see many liquidation. Now, boom. And all the previous days, it's been way more liquidation than we've seen on the whole year, which means there's probably some manipulation to try to push the price down more and more. I do have to say that we see at the end now a little bit less liquidation. So could it be a bounce back? Let's hope for it. And when we check the global map of liquidation, it's mostly short. So now everyone's shifted to shorting the market, which is quite always the same. People want to go all in, like, oh, we're going to push the price up. Or then they're like, it goes down, goes down. Oh, let's short, let's short. That's where I'm finding interesting. And it's our third point, which is the switch of holders. A lot of people are saying that now we see all Bitcoin holders that sold their Bitcoin and now institutions are buying it. It's not that accurate. And one thing that I love to check is the supply, profit or loss. Now, the chart is not completely updated here because the price went a bit further down, but we can see that we arrive in the danger or red zone. So if there is a better time to activate your DC on Bitcoin, I don't think so. Like I started to buy some now because when a lot of people are not in profit, that's usually the best time. Now, maybe we are here at this zone, same as before, and then we're going to continue to go further down. That's possible, but then all that zone was a good buy. in the long term for Bitcoin. And again, another crisis signal is the short-term holder cost basis model. Every time you see that it hits the green line, we usually hit some low, up, hit some low, up, hit some low, unless it go low, lower, lower. But again, you're smarter to buy here than when you touch the red line, because when you touch the red line, you're almost sure that you're going to be on the way down. So that's why it starts to be interesting now for investors. And I know there's still a lot of money sidelined on the market. Now, are institutions actively accumulating? Well, not under the ETF, if that's the case, because if we check the ETF net flow, we are massively negative. We thought, oh, okay, if we have ETF, like people just going to buy, it doesn't seem to be that much that way. I do have to say that it's easier and then opens a pool of people that can buy that is wider. But most people that you know in your circle, they probably didn't buy yet Bitcoin with the ETF or they don't think about it. However, it's kind of easier to access for sure. And now we see this red pattern, which is the same that you had here, right? Which signal the bottom at 82. Now it's still early to draw some conclusion, but it opens still, in my opinion, the beginning of the accumulation zone. Bitcoin could go down to 60K. I would not be surprised. If you buy between 80 to 40K, you just have to wait. Bitcoin always recovers from the crashes. And you have to remember that each generation has one asset that can change their lives. Your grandpa was housings. Your dad was the stock market. You is probably crypto. Because what else the new generation is going to buy? Go ask the 20 years old. Not me, an uncle, 33 years old, how we do. No. What do? They do everything from their phone. They even meet the love of their life through their phone. It's too bad that the love of their life is also loving me. That's a problem that we're going to solve maybe with quantum computing. And still though, it's a lot of opportunities. For example, if you go on Paradox, they have those vaults. And those vaults let you short the market easily. For example, here, meme coins 3x bear. And I've been shorting with just $500 because this is an account for me to farm the points here. They're going to do an airdrop, by the way. And now people are speculating that the points will value each 80 cents. So just by basically getting paid to trade, when the fees on it are like zero. There's 0% fees on the trading. So if you ever trade on a centralized exchange, you should try a decentralized exchange, maybe Paradox, because you're going to be able to farm the airdrop. And you can short, for example, those meme coins easily. And what it does is that for you, it's going to place short on all the meme coins and you don't have to do anything. So it's a lot easier. You don't have to break your head around. And that just work. And it's the same if you want to short the altcoins, instead of going one by one or trying to do everything manually where you're going to get wrecked. You can use the vault and then short the whole thing like ADA, Doge, Sway. And for me, I just click deposit and I put the money in and then that's it. It's super simple. If you want to do that, I will put a full course in the Investors Boardroom. It's free. You can just click the link below to join the community. And I will give you the link as well to Paradox, because if you use the code HANDSOME, you're going to get the boost in points. And that's going to be massive. So if you're going to trade, bet that it goes up or it goes down, do it at least where you can farm the points. So even your trading is going to make you earn more. Now, the bullish case scenario is people say, yeah, 2021, we had the same retracement and then we went bam. I saw that copy pasta everywhere. We will see. I'm not so crazy on the short-term pricing. I think like now it's clearly over panic and that's fine. What I know is that the printing of money is just going up. So I don't think that the value of the money being printed is yet on the price of Bitcoin. What I mean by that is we don't really see Bitcoin people that went like crazy rich, crypto people that went like crazy rich recently compared to the previous cycle. And now, as uncertainty comes, there's always another thing. In fear, every small element becomes way bigger. It's the same if you sleep in a national park, every little sound you think is a bear that's going to come and destroy your portfolio. Well, if you check like the odds of guessing the winning Powerball numbers versus guessing one Bitcoin private key is insane. That's the odds of guessing it. That's the Bitcoin. So it's really, really, really tough. Now, quantum computing could maybe break that. But you have to remember that if quantum computing breaks Bitcoin, it can also break into any security system. So it could launch a nuclear attack, no problem. Also, Bitcoin can receive updates. And that's the beauty of it, because probably before quantum computing is out, people would have figured out how to implement that on Bitcoin, and there will be no problem. Now, if you want to take an insurance against that, you could have some Zcash, because Zcash has privacy, it's the same core system as Bitcoin, plus it's quantum computing resistant. And it's the only asset that's been going up since the market is going down. But this, you know this because you are subscribed to Handsome Finance, right? You have the notification bell on, right? And I was talking about it at 238. So that's the only asset that did the 3x when the whole market is going down. And that's probably why I'm recording this video with a bit more calm than most people, because Zcash just compensated almost all the losses that I have on my whole portfolio. You can actually check out this video where I go in details on how I use Paradex. I farmed the airdrops with clicking the link in the description, and you're going to see all the steps to do it. But don't forget one thing though, stay handsome.